Good morning, Woodstock Flyers. Tim again with another helpful safety hints video for our brand new equipment, new to us, Gravely 400 Promaster lawnmower. As with all of our equipment, the owner's manual is available to you in the clubhouse if you have any questions, and please check it before you actually operate this equipment for the first time. As with any of our equipment, the first thing we're going to start with, of course, is an effective pre-flight inspection. Pre-flight on the Gravely, if we do it the same way every time, you'll get into a routine and it'll become second nature to you. Everything will be checked and will improve our safety and performance of this equipment. Myself, I like to start where you get in and get out, over here on the right side of the equipment. Starting with the front, we'll check, we'll make sure our tire is a solid pneumatic, but we'll make sure there's no real play in it, there's lubrication, the pin's connected. Make sure that the deflector is in place, not folded up like this for tight spots, but down and engaged. Okay, check the condition more, checking all of our connectors and the hydraulic rods that raise and lower the deck. Check for cleanliness. Our tire pressure is good. Controls are in neutral. Continue back. At this point, I'm going to release one hood catch. Another tire, pressure's good. Pins are in place. No play in the steering. Continue to walk around, check that the exhaust is not blocked, that it's clean at the back, that our counterweight is in place and secure. Carry on. Again, check the pins. And tire pressure. Remove second hood catch. The hood will just flip up very easily. Now we check the engine compartment. We're looking for things like leaks, looseness in belts, any hoses that are cracked or abraded. As we can see, everything looks good here. The belts are okay and tight. All of our hoses, connections, everything looks good in here today. It's nice and clean. The air filter is in here. We'll leave that maintenance to our land and buildings officer. The oil. We'll never trust that this engine is cold. So anytime we're working in the engine compartment, back to our safety equipment, some gloves. Now, to check the oil on this, I find that dipstick is kind of hard to find and it's way down in there. So when you start to remove it, just have a look and make sure you remember where the hole is to put it back in. Of course, checking oil, we wipe, press it in all the way, remove it again, and check the oil. Anytime it's within the operating range, the oil level is okay. So our oil level is okay today. At this point, we're finished under the hood. There's really nothing else that you need to look at. There's really nothing else that you need to look at. Everything else will be maintained by the maintenance officer. And please remember, if you do find something that you aren't sure about, or if you have a question about, there's all kinds of resources available to you. Everybody pretty much now is available by phone. Just if you are in doubt, ask. Okay, return the hood down, lock it. The fuel, it's diesel fuel only. As with the tractor, the diesel's kept in the tank behind the 172, and you'll have to check the level manually because the gauge is a little clouded. Okay, fuel level's fine. Ensure that our pins are in and locked to hold the seat deck down. Okay, no leaks on the fuel tank. We're good there. Controls again in neutral and float. Tire pressure is good. Nuts and everything are in good shape. And everything under here, hydraulic system, good. Front tire, same thing. Solid rubber. Should have no maintenance, but just watch for wobbles. The PTO shaft, make sure there's nothing obstructing it. It's not too dirty. And always remember, underneath of this cover is moving belts. So ensure that your covers are in place and solid. To enter, you may step on the deck when it's lowered. If the deck is raised, please don't step on the deck. Walk into the operator's position. First thing you'll want to do is make sure that you're nice and comfortable. There's a lever on the left-hand side here for adjusting the seat. You can see, pull it, seat moves forward and back. Okay, there's a knob here at the front of the seat to adjust for your body weight. Okay, to make yourself nice and comfortable while you're operating the equipment. You should have a good reach to the steering wheel without overextending your arms. Let's go over the gauges and controls. Very simple gauges on this equipment. There's an engine temperature gauge, throttle gauge. There's a couple of warning lights. This, just like the tractor, has a pre-igniter, has on the diesel engine. So we'll push that before we start. Parking brake, as you can see, it's off now. Okay, to set the parking brake, should you need it, depress the pedals and move the brake lever. To release it, press the pedals, move the lever forward. Okay, the keys. There's some substantial wear in the ignition. So the key, this lanyard is on the key because the key can fall out on you. Please make sure that that lanyard is engaged with the key. So we don't want to lose the key. Put the key in the ignition. Now we'll check that everything is in neutral. As you can see, there's a mark on the deck here where it says for starting position. So this is your speed. Make sure it's in the starting position. Same thing with the other side, your PTO control, same thing. You'll want to ensure that the deck is all the way down. All that set, you can go ahead and start it. I usually start it with the throttle at this lowest setting, idle, very easy. Turn the key to on. Hold the pre-igniter for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then turn the key. And the engine should start very easily. Like anything else, please don't run the starter for more than about 10 seconds. If you do have to run it for more than 10 seconds, remember to let it cool. Okay, back to the off position. Once the engine's started, to move the equipment, you need to select a range for your drive. Most cutting operations all the way forward in low, but there is an optional all the way back in a high range, which will allow you to move around quicker. Okay, always set to neutral. This equipment, if it's running and these levers are in their neutral positions, the engine will continue to run. In any other setting, if you leave the operator's position, the engine will stop. So now you've started it, you've selected your range. Your pedal to the right is your drive pedal. As you can see, my foot is completely on the pedal. Okay? To make the equipment move forward, push the pedal forward with your toe. To make it reverse, push with your heel. This thing, because it's a hydraulic drive, if you're moving forward and you slap it into reverse, you are risking a rollover hazard because the wheels will begin to rotate immediately and it will flip forward. So be very gentle with this control. Always go from drive to neutral, wait for the machine to stop, then go to reverse. Should you need it, brake pedals are on this side. They'll stop both front wheels at the same time. Or you can unlock and use either wheel. Start the mower deck. So now you've moved to your position, you're ready to start. Bring your deck control all the way to the float position. To raise it, just this, and push down. And you'll see the deck will rise on the hydraulic system. Okay? Put your deck into float, put it all the way to the down position. Your PTO control, you'll move straight forward. Straight forward to its limit, and then the deck will start running. Throttle control, obviously. When we're cutting grass, we'll want to do it at a faster blade speed. So all you do is just move it towards the little picture of the rabbit there. And then we're good. If you do find yourself on uneven ground and one wheel is driving, you don't seem to be moving anywhere, over here on the left side is another pedal which will lock your front wheels together and let them drive together. Problem running like this is steering will be very limited because that locks the axles and it doesn't steer very well. Now we'll talk about some of the important operational issues. So this is a rear wheel steer, front wheel drive. What does that mean? That's very counterintuitive to most people. It's hard for them to get used to it. So until you are used to the way this machine operates, just take it slow, okay? With the wheels at the back, you have to remember that when you turn, if you turn sharply, this back end of this thing that's out behind you is swinging around. That's where a lot of people get into trouble. They forget that that's out there, the swing around, and that's when you're starting to hit things. Okay, as I'd explained before with the hydraulic drive, if you move sharply from forward to reverse, then this machine will try to flip over forwards. To stop this machine, again, bring the machine to a complete stop. Move your PTO control into the off position. If you're on uneven ground, please set the parking brake, but remember that the parking brake is on. Always check that parking brake is released before you try to move the machine again. Your range control, your fast, slow on this side, set it back onto the neutral spot. And then it's safe to exit the machine. To exit the machine, step out, always trying to maintain 3 points of contact as you get off the machine. Remember, we want to wear our safety, our protective equipment, some gloves, protect your hands. I like to wear standards approved safety shoes and some eye protection. This will conclude our pre-trip and operational demonstration for the Gravely. Please, again, I can't stress it enough, if you have a problem, there's all kinds of resources to go to. Thanks for your time.